Hi all. Right, back with some more enemy action Kharkov. Can't get away right now. Yeah, that's keeping me hooked in. Bit of a late nighter here though, so it's a bit risky. A couple of beers went by, so who knows. I'm not sure I'll get too much done, but that's me got the next 2 parts done. I've uploaded the second part. Had a look, just a little glitch, made a comment about it, moving one of these mech units across the minor river. It wasn't an issue. I had plenty of movement points, but I didn't count the +1 for moving across the minor river for it, so I just wanted to highlight that. Couple other things. John Butterfield came and confirmed what Tom Castle had said regarding my issue with what was that? Yeah, it was moving behind the Soviet artillery barrage. So that's good to be. I'm sure Tom, like I say, he's play tested the game, so he knows his stuff. But it's always nice when the designer just clarifies that. Also, I don't think I mentioned, but Tom also confirmed that my move to relocate the core Rouse units into their area was correct, right enough. He did highlight that as long as they could still trace the same supply to the same supply as what they were getting, which he also said shouldn't probably be a problem, and it wasn't a problem. They've got to be able to trace to the same supply source. But as things move on, maybe you could see where that might be an issue, so you need to keep an eye on that as well. Right, I've not got my little cubes. I want to get them. Hang on. Okay, found my wee cubes. Just got these from Terraforming Mars. This is wee blue cube, and then the IP. I'll leave the IP underneath it. I mean, I suppose that can make you think there's maybe 2 units in it, but it's just in case. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Okay, that's that. So we're moving on to our next Soviet impulse, aren't we? Right. What was I going to do then? So there's the cards we have, and I thought I was going to do deploy the pop-off units again this time, but we do have the third. Oh, that's 2 unit stacks. That's right. That's the last card we drew, wasn't it? And yeah, I'll need to in future look at the possibility. I think I said this already about trying to end up with 3 in a stack. Well, I mean that's 5 steps in that stack, but that is only 4, so potentially this could be a 3. There's quite a few of these units 3 steps, so isn't there? So, of course, we've already had the primary card to activate that army. And this card activates a southwest front army, which is on the other side. That's the pop-off one. That's the darker orange. Whereas the 3rd tank army, they are the Vornesh front, the lighter orange. Okay. Yeah, and also I had taken note of that, the fact it says activate 1 southwest front army plus stacked southwest front units. So it's not a bad idea to possibly, when I do move pop-off units, to maybe double them up with these guard units. I mean, we could. These guys are dispersed, aren't they? Just if we do stack units from the same front together, we're always going to get a benefit from that. So that's something to think about too. I don't know. I definitely want to deploy the pop-off units. I mean, the other thing that I think that's a bit weaker is using that to deploy all southwest front reserves. But I mean, that just gets. Sorry, glare. Hang on. Right, fiddling about trying to get the glare out of the way. Yeah, I could use that. I would deploy the 2 pop-off units and the 1st Guards unit here, but I think that's a bit weak use of that card, isn't it? I think I might go with this time and deploy the pop-off units. And remember, we can deploy them this turn. It doesn't count as having activated that army, so we could then activate them next turn. There's not an issue with that. And maybe just play this and then draw the next card, find out what we're getting. And well, we'll let the Germans do something, but other options, the 69th Army, which are the guys across up the north end there. Just infantry again, aren't they? And then we've got the 240th Army units there. They're 2 3-steppers, mind you. Yeah, I think I'm going to deploy these units. I think I'm going to play the pop-off units card and deploy all mobile group pop-off reserves. Okay, so let's do that. So there's the 2 units we're going to deploy as reserves. So let's see how we go about that. Soviet. Now we can. Yeah, this is the card I done in the wee preview video at the first. We can deploy them with tactical reserve or strategic reserve because oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there's a flaw in our plan, isn't there? This guy's down here. Whereas I think I got them deployed here. They need to be, if they're on a map edge hex, they need to be 2 away from a German unit. Normally 3 away from a German unit or 5 away from a German unit if you're wanting strategic reserve deployment. So, and one of them's a 3-step unit, isn't it? Oh, hang on. Can I not just get away with that? Ah, yeah, I can. So, with either move, yeah, I can deploy them with either move, tactical or strategic. Yeah, because this is a Soviet map edge hex, so I can trade supply off of that, and only need to be 2 hexes away. So this guy's 2 hexes away, this guy's 2 hexes away from here, and this is 2 hexes away from here. So thinking, put this guy into here. That's 2 units with 3 steps each, and this guy into here. That's all the units are just 2 steps. Yeah, I think that's the best I'm going to get, because I can't really get them in here. If I come up here, I need to then be 3 away, so it's a bit tight. But these are map edge hexes, so I get away with the 2 away. Yes, and they're in the front area, obviously, which is that's right away along up to here, up to this line here, just off camera, but that's fine. And a supply head or a friendly map edge hex, which is what they are. So, okay. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's go with that. So unfortunately, that's a quick impulse. So just deploying the 2 units, and that's our. Oops, go away. That's our impulse over. So we'll move straight on into a German impulse then, and see what we're going to do now. Draw a German command card. 3 core again. Is that not what we had the last time? It is, isn't it? Okay. Right, this is the core card rather than the previous one was a core KG card. Which, as you notice, that this would deploy all the reserves, whereas this one will deploy all the reserves, but from turn 2, it needs to have at least 2 units eligible to be deployed. So we still do have the possibility of deploying that 1 unit though, because we're on turn 1. Has anything changed regarding that? Well, possibly. Yeah, so let's get this unit down again and have a look. The reason I'm saying possibly is because this unit moved back. Hang on. No, that's okay. Yeah, their first Panzer Army. That was the issue, wasn't it? Yeah, that's the issue. Because their first Panzer Army, and then we had this query about this one. They actually need to go that side of this line. So yeah, that's maybe not going to be possible again then, isn't it? Because it needs to be in the reserve units army area, which is to the south of this line, if you like. It's that way. And just jumping through some of them, the other one is a Soviet unit needs to be proximate to it. So yeah, we've got the same situation again. There's not any position hexes south of this line that a Soviet unit is proximate to. So I think that guy's going back again. And they look again. So next command is activate all units in 3rd Corps. So yeah, we will look at doing that again. We've again got 1, 2, 3, 4 units in the Corps. So yeah, let's have a look. German activation. So if behind Soviet lines is step 1. Nope. Move to an empty or garrison VP hex to which Soviet unit proximate. Move to an well, we just moved out of that hex, didn't we? Move to an empty or garrison VP hex to which Soviet unit proximate. See, here's where I could have done myself out of things here, where I chose to put these reserves out first, and this victory point was sitting in this town waiting for me. I could have just strolled on into there, and now it looks like he might be moving. Seems strange for him to move back into there though. He's already just moved out of that hex, but well, hang on, let's check stuff, because it might well put him in danger. So, well, it might not actually. The fact there's garrisons here, that would be really clever if that worked out, didn't it? The fact he moved out of that hex, and I thought, that's strange, he's moving out of that VP hex, but he's getting out of dangerous surround. Then I don't have the chance to surround them. Okay, I do other things anyway, and I maybe foolishly don't move into the town and take the VP hex, take the town. And the other issue that came up was he ended up with a garrison here, which probably means I can't come round and surround this guy now anyway. So right, let's look. So in ascending order, but I think we're basically coming down to Unit 7, but anyway, in ascending order, move to an empty or garrisoned VP hex to which a Soviet unit is proximate. Right, let's just stop there. Well, this is an empty VP hex to which a Soviet unit is proximate. This guy can move into there. He cannot directly move into there, but it doesn't matter. This guy can move into there, so that is proximate to that hex. So if a city move may end in danger of surround, right? Well, this isn't a city; it's a village. It's not a village; it's a town. And then if it was starting in a VP hex, destination must have a greater VP hex. Well, he's not starting in a VP hex. And yeah, to be honest, I can skip by 1, 2, because is that true? Can 2? I don't think 2 can get there either, can he? It's got a break zone and control for 2, 3, 4. Yeah, no, he can't get there. He can't get there. So none of 1 and 2 selector number can get there. 7 can. So that's the one we're looking at. Right, just jumping over the restrictions there, because it did mention that if it's a city, the move may end in a dangerous surround. So my guess is that that's one of the restrictions. So we don't cause Kharkov and that other city to become empty. I'm going to give up trying to pronounce that one. It's too tricky this time of night as well. So that's not an issue. Don't cause Soviet proximity to empty or garrison German city hex or map edge VP hex. That's not happening. Don't cause unit in the same core to be put in dangerous surround unless that unit is active and not yet acted. Well, all 3 of these units are active and not yet acted, but it wouldn't be putting one of them in dangerous surround. Next bullet is the one that I was talking about. If it's not in dangerous surround, don't end move in a non-city hex in dangerous surround unless allowed by the action. And that's why step 2 stated that if it was a city, it may end up in dangerous surround. Well, it's not, so it's not going to move from not dangerous surround. So if it moves into there, is it in dangerous surround? I think because it's garrisons here now, the answer is no. Because when that garrison wasn't there, it was a straightforward case of, and remember, you consider dispersed units. I don't know. It's not as strange as it may seem. I guess it's just, like I say, it's not something I recall for the last game, so I think it's something they've changed up a bit. But I think it makes sense, like I say. I mean, they could have been undispersed last turn, and then this turn maybe, well, not this turn, but the next again turn, moved to do their thing. So, but this garrison, the way, as soon as I move a unit to there, it's got to stop. As soon as you move adjacent to a garrison, you've got to stop. So, yeah, that garrison prevents anything from, it would be tough to go right the way around and come in and end up there. And there's nothing that's got, the movement points to do that. Even the fact that this guy would still be in his army boundary, he's not getting up and away around into here. That's not happening. So that is not going to stop him. And then the last restriction is don't end mech units in a marsh hex unless only choice. Well, that's not happening either. So I think he's going to move. So where were we? Move to empty or garrison VP hex to which Soviet unit proximate. Yeah, send an order. He's the first one that can do it. So there you go. You had your chance to take that time, Grant. You've now lost it. Or you're going to have to fight that guy to do it. Yeah, good stuff. Just shows you. Yeah, it really does. It just shows you how good an AI system that is for what happened there. I mean, you've got to think the guys that, you know, Mr. Butterfield and his team that designed it all, you know, looked at all these things and, okay, it was a draw of a card that put this garrison here, you know, all these things happened, there's a bit of randomness in it, but when you see it turn out the way it did, that's clever, eh? It makes it look extremely clever, to which you've got to give it its due. Okay, so that was step 2, wasn't it? So step 3 is if in 4th Panzer Army or Corps Row. Well, that's not the case, we've been there before. Step 4, if in dangerous surround. Again in ascending order. This guy is not in dangerous surround. No, he's not. He's not. And he's not. So we're doing nothing with that. Step 4. So step 5, we're going to draw an action card again and conduct action if situation applies. Okay, so let's have a look at that again. Draw an action card. Strengthen. Ooh, I remember that one from being a bit of a headache in the previous game about understanding exactly what was meaning. Hopefully they've streamlined this a bit, if it's the same anyway. So, situation. Active unit. Okay, right, sorry. Let's look at it first. Strengthen. So it's going in descending order. So we'd look at, it'd be selector number 8 first. So active unit in non-VP hex and proximate to VP hex occupied by at least one German step, but not by more steps than the hex's VP value, and to which a supplied Soviet unit is proximate. Well, it sounds like a mouthful that, but I'll tell you what, it does sound easier to work your way through it than the previous. I think they had to errata, well, not maybe errata, just alter the way it was worded on the card for that. In fact, was that not maybe one of the cards that you got in the game to replace for Action Ardennes? I think it was. I think Strengthen was one of them. I didn't look at them because yeah, I might well put them in when the time comes, but so that would be the situation, and then if the situation applies, we would then move into the qualifying hex. Right, but there's still a lot to break down there. So, active unit in non-VP hex and proximate to a VP hex occupied by at least one German step. Okay, so I might just zoom out a little bit here to keep the card with us. Maybe bring it down here a little bit. Better view of things, because it's maybe we're looking at in descending order. So this is the first unit we'd be looking at. So he's in a non-VP hex, yes. And is he proximate to a VP hex? I'm not finished yet, admittedly, but he is proximate to this VP hex. But is the VP hex occupied by at least one German step? Oh, well, hang on. Yeah, read on, Grant, yeah. In a non-VP hex and proximate to VP hex occupied by at least one German step, which is the case. I thought it was just one German step, but it's at least one German step, but not by more steps than the hex's VP value. Well, the VP value of that hex is 2. He's got 2 steps. At least one German step, but not by more steps than the hex's VP value. Yeah, so if we had 3 steps in this hex, as 2 VPs, we wouldn't, the situation wouldn't be considered, right? But he's got 2 steps and he's in a 2 VP hex. So that does, we are going to consider that. To finish off, and to which a supplied Soviet unit is proximate. Well, there you go. This supplied Soviet unit and this supplied Soviet unit are proximate, and we can bring a bunch more. So it looks like this guy's going to come in and strengthen that hex, and it's a city. It's worth 2 victory points. You would maybe consider doing this yourself if you were playing the Germans. So there you go. So the action is to move into qualifying hex, prefer hex A with the highest VP value. Well, we're only looking at this one. There is another city along here, but there's no Soviet units proximate to that. So, and to be honest, there's not any German units in that. So it wouldn't be strengthening it. It would be just moving to it. In fact, that might have came up. That would have been step 2, wouldn't it? If a Soviet unit had been proximate to it, and that's a big one. So, but however, a Soviet unit is proximate to that. It's already there. It's adjacent. So move into qualifying hex. Fair hex. Yeah, I don't think we need to look at the preferences there. Apart from the last part of that, which says all units in destination are considered to have performed an action. So it does mean that when this guy moves into here, this guy is going to have been considered to have had an action. It does also say that it may end the move in dangerous round. They're not going to be in dangerous round, but it stipulates on the card that they could be, and it would be fine. So he is going to move into here, and like I say, because of that, that guy's going to have had his action as well. So yeah, pretty decent move again. That's 2 moves we've seen there that are pretty clever, and sort of stuff that you would have done if you were sitting at if you were playing this yourself. Well, if you were clever enough. I may not have thought of these things, but right. So, and then we can also then look at it's unit 2 that's not done anything yet. So he can look at the strength in action 2. Active unit in non-VP hex. Yes, he is. Is he proximate to a VP hex occupied by at least 1 German step? I'll pause there. He could be 1, 2. Right, hang on. That's broken, isn't it? That. What is broken? Broken's 2 for a mech unit. Shift them a little bit. So broken's 2, so that would be 1, 2, 3, breaking zone of control, 4, 5. So this guy actually could move into here as well. However, the bit that I paused at was it's got to be not more steps than the hex's VP value. Well, now I've got 4 steps and it's a 2 VP value, so we don't consider this. It's strong enough. We don't, it doesn't need to strengthen this anymore. This here, however, is only 2 steps, as a VP hex. Soviet units are proximate. Can he get to there though? I don't think so. 1, 2, breaking zone of control. 3, 4, crossing the minor river, and then that's another 5 to cross there, isn't it? Before he even reaches there. So, no, he can't reach there. And that would be his only considerations. Okay, good. So that strengthen card certainly done its thing. Now we're done with that card, but we still have 1 unit that's not carried out any activation. And then step 6 is if no action conducted in step 5, draw another action card. Well, that's not the case. We did actually get something out of that card this time. So I think we then just skip by step 6. But we're still looking to try and get that select a number 2, some kind of activation. So step 7 is move to a hex that removes dangerous terrain from another German unit. Nope. It's not going to apply. If Soviet unit proximate to empty or garrison German city hex, move to hex that prevents that Soviet proximity. If Soviet unit proximate to empty or garrison German city hex. No, that's not applying. And it's only city as well, so no. If a non-VP hex is stacked with or adjacent to other German unit, he's not stacked with or adjacent to another German unit, so I can skip by that one. So now we're down to step 10, which is place an IP. Well, he's already got an IP, so can't do that. Step 11, remove disperse marker. So I think he's not going to do anything. And I think that is impulse done. Yeah. It seemed quite a strong play from the Germans there, I think. Took back that victory point that maybe I should have sneaked and got, because I've got that garrison marker there, so it's going to take me time to get round. Totally strengthens Slavansk with an armoured unit on top of the... Yeah, I think it was the armoured unit in there. Yeah, it was the infantry unit came and supported them, wasn't it? Yeah. However, that's going to be a tough nut to crack, that in a city. So, yeah, good stuff. Okay, 32 minutes. Can I have another show? It's getting a bit late. And, well, I didn't draw my other card, so we should have done that. Let's have a look at that. Let's see what we were getting. I only got 4 cards in hand, so let's see what we're getting. That might change. Oh, mobile group. Pop off again. Oh, that's another one of them. Ooh, okay, they're both supplemental cards. Combat tactic, combat engineers. Right. I suppose again this is something to learn from, knowing how many cards, what all the cards are. I mean, admittedly they're both supplementals, so supplementals are sort of random. You don't know if you're getting them. And I do know that now I'm getting neither of them next turn, sorry. Okay. Well, I suppose my next move was probably going to be moving the Popov units, army. But this is really kind of made this a bit scary looking. He's got 7 strength, 4 steps, in a city. This guy built an IP. This guy moved back into the town. We've got a garrison here. Yuck. It just makes this whole area, that whole turn was just, well, to be honest, the two activations, the third corps made them mess of us, didn't they? Because that's when the garrison appeared, the IP appeared, and then the next one, this guy moved back in here and he strengthened in there. That should be away, because we had an impulse and we deployed reserves, didn't we? Yeah, so we can activate anybody. Right. Just wonder if it might be better leaving it till the morning, I think. Yeah. I think so. A bit clearer head, I think. Okay, 34 minutes. Oh, that's a bit... Well, I suppose I could just chuck that out as an episode. There's going to be lots of parts in this series. Well, depending on how far I get, though. Like I've said, once we get the first victory point check, that could be the end. I will be aware of it. I think. Well, I will look into it. But I think it's maybe 11 or 12 points you need by turn. Right. I'm just guessing there. So, to be honest. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll leave the rest for tonight. I might upload this as a part, or maybe add another impulse on at the end of it. We'll see. Okay, yeah, I'm enjoying it, and hopefully everything's going okay. I don't feel like I've made any horrors. I did get round to looking at the first part there. Well, sorry, the second part. And it looked alright. Like I say, just that one it was a little glitch. But you never know. You could quite easily stumble over something and make a big blunder, so fingers crossed. I'll go and have a look just now and see if anybody's told me I've got it all wrong. And I don't mind if you tell me I'm making horrible decisions and strategy-wise, that's fine. Well, yeah, no, it is fine. I don't mind that at all. Just want to do it properly, that's all. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow, guys. Okay, cheers. Hi all. Right, back to some more Enemy Action Kharkov Soviet Solo. Couple of things. I thought I would have had the third part uploaded. I had a wee view back on it last night, and I had to make an edit and halfway sort of through it, because I was talking some nonsense. I don't know what I was thinking about. It was regarding proximate, trying to deploy a reserve, and I honestly don't know where my mind went with it. I was trying to suggest that a unit that's adjacent to a hex that a unit could be deployed to would be proximate to that unit. You know, if it was surrounded though. That's difficult to maybe explain. Anyway, I got it wrong, so I thought I don't want to leave that in. I didn't do anything, I just talked about it. It wasn't that the unit could be deployed anyway, but I was just discussing it. But I don't want to put that out there, and then you start scratching your head thinking, oh, I didn't know you could do that, and or thinking this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, which I certainly didn't with that one. I'm not sure where I started going with that. Okay, so right, let's just move on. It's our impulse. I've been having a wee think off camera here, and I think in the end, initially I thought maybe just playing the 2-unit, maybe I'll pop off one, a 2-stack one, and then grabbing these 2 stacks, because we've got 3 in there and 2 in there. And here was my thinking here, that maybe put a couple units on top of these guard units, and with the intention of activating this not next impulse but next again, because this activates 1 southwest front army plus stacked southwest front units. So if I select Popov to activate and they're on top of these other southwest first guard units, then they'll activate as well. I also thought, could I stack something on, well, that one's, oh no, that's 2 units, yeah, they're all, these are 2 and that's 1. I did think I could stack something on top of these guys too, and it would then remove their dispersal, but it means moving some of my pop-off units back on top of them, and I don't think that's probably that clever. But then I thought, so I thought I could move these 2 units here, like this one here, this another one in there, with in mind that not making an attack on this, because as you know, they strengthened us, and this is going to be kind of horrible. I think what we're going to have to do with this is just probably move in and get this surrounded. So I suppose you then think, well, what is the point in doing that? Because if you're not going to do anything when you do that southwest front card, what is the point? Yeah, maybe that's true. Well, you know what? It might be further into the turn. I've still got quite a few cards left. I was starting to wonder if I'm taking things a bit too slow here, and I should be maybe burning through some of my cards. Because the longer the turn ends when I run out of cards. The longer I let the turn go, the more German cards we burn through as well, and the more stuff they get to do. So that's where your dilemma is. I'm sure some of you that have played it a few times already probably are saying to yourself, "No, you should be bursting through here. We should be moving these, activating these tank units and getting up to here, and then moving on towards Kharkov before Kharkov gets." The second SS units are eventually going to deploy there, I would think, or in that area. So if we can get there before they come out and then maybe have a go at Kharkov, then maybe that's probably what you're telling me I should be doing. I do have the third tank army units card that I can activate 2 stacks, but I could activate this and this, or maybe this stack. Oh, well, 2 of the stacks, and this guy could actually reach Chugev and grab that victory point, and then obviously you're quite close to Zemev as well. So another activation could take us into there. That's a couple of victory points. Also, not too far away from Volchansk, and then we come round and flank these guys. So we did get the card for the third tank army, didn't we? The primary one. I keep wanting to say tanky for some reason. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of stuck now between activating the pop-off units or maybe making this move. The problem could be, well, no, that's not true actually. If I don't take this just now, see if we draw a second SS card and they want to deploy their reserves, then I'm guessing one of their reserves is going in there, because we're proximate to there. So why not grab that before that happens? Because that will eventually happen. I know they've had a second SS card, haven't they? Oh no, they have not. So they've not even drawn a second SS card yet. Not that I'm looking through the discard pile there or nothing. But as far as I'm aware, you are allowed to do that, but yeah. So yeah, I probably should do that first, shouldn't I? Okay, let's do that. The other thing was, though, I thought that was quite a good combat tactic, and I thought, we'll just leave the guys. But I think that thinking of, we know there's 3 second SS units, and if I look at the reserve placement rules just now, I'm pretty sure one of them would be deployed here. And then possibly another one, they would be deployed round about this area, I'm sure. Okay, I'm going to do this then. We'll just need to deal with it. Okay, so I'm going to activate 2 unit stacks in the third tank army. So this is definitely going to be one of them. And I'm not sure about the other one. This is going to be one of them, and one of them is going to go to... I suppose the other downside to that is moving all my armour past some of the units that we probably want to deal with. Well, hold on, Grant. Why not get this guy surrounded? Yeah. So why not activate this as my second stack? I can't get it, so no, I can't. I can't get surrounded, can I? No. So I think he moved to a position where he was out of dangerous round, yeah, because we can't get to this hex, can we? Tell you what though, if we did get to there, we would be able to come back down and then surround them next time they activated, assuming things were still the same, of course. Yeah, my other worry, well, like I think I've already said, just moving my armour away from things. Right, I'm going to do this. This is going to be one of my activation stacks. Now, I don't know if I need to decide which other one is before I move them or not, but I'm not reviewing anything, so I don't see that there'd be a problem with that. So I'm going to move these guys, well, these are both 6 movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and take Chugev. And yeah, one rule I mentioned that I'm pretty sure is different. I mean, I've run out of movement points there anyway, but let's just say I had 7 movement points. Whenever you enter an enemy town, well, it's still an enemy. I mean, now it's my town. Now I've taken it. But when you enter an enemy town, you must stop upon entering it. So let's just say this guy had 7 movement points. He could then now move through into here because obviously I've taken the town now. So yeah, and I don't think that was the same in Ardennes. I think there was certain times where you had to stop entering a town, but I think normally you could just move into the town and move straight through it. So slight change there, I believe. So that actually gives us another victory point. So that's our first achieved victory point. So that's us up to 3, and I suppose we should mark that. In fact, I'll just mark these towns down here as well. Not really necessary, but so that's us taking our first town. And yeah, I think I'm going to move that guy to join because I then have the choice of moving one of them to here and then possibly coming down to surround him. So I'm going to have him join him. He was part of the stack, obviously, my one stack. And then my second one, yeah, I'm just not really that sure of. And this guy here's got 7 movement, so he could reach there too. But well, he's 3 steps, so he'll be overstacking, so we can't do that anyway. Even if I don't think I want to push him up there anyway. Yeah, I've not really got any real great. I mean, the other thing I suppose we could consider is pushing the infantry up here so that they can then go in and hold the towns a bit more secure, but we've still got stuff to deal with down here. I did think that, I don't know if this is a daft thought, that I left this guy, this 2 strength guy on his own, maybe activate him and move him out and in to here. If that's a bit of a waste or not. But I mean, if they come up, that I know that exposed event is there, so and it's 2 strength. We've got another one here, haven't we? Sorry, just off camera, but he's not part of the 3rd tank, but one, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I will just. I mean, it's more about what. I mean, these guys getting here was the main purpose of this activation. The other part is more about if these guys can activate again. So it's really for the next part what all this group are going to do. So yeah, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm just going to push them forward. There's enough. I think there's enough here to be able to have a go at this guy, and then have a go at this. But some of this could come back, and surround that before we do it. You know what? Let's just go with that. It probably doesn't look that clever, but we'll go with that. Okay, going to go with that. So that's us activated the third tank again. So I'll put that marker there. We can't activate them next turn. Yeah, and it was only 2 stats we were activating, wasn't it? That's all you got. Right. Okay, so, and then we draw up to our 5 cards again. And we've got First Guards Army. So that's the full card for the First Guards. That's the guys that are down beside the pop-off. The ones I was thinking about putting pop-off units on top. He does have 1 in reserves as well. These are both 3 steps, aren't they? Yeah. Just thinking if I was to deploy the reserve and... Oh no, I wouldn't be allowed to, would I? I'd have to be 2 away. Yeah, in fact, it's going to be tricky to deploy them. It's only 1 unit, it's only a 2 strength infantry unit. So, what is the combat tactic artillery? Okay, well that's what we got, so we'll just need to deal with that. Right, let's get a German impulse going. Right, German enemy command card. Okay, it's what's that again? 48th Corps, isn't it? 48th Corps KG card. That's the guys I was just moving round about, wasn't it? Over here. So there's 1, 2, 3 of them there. He doesn't have any in the reserve units box, so I get the feeling the units are going to do something. Because now one of them's in the one we moved round the back is in dangerous surround, I can see. Obviously, I talked about that already. So deploy all core reserves is the first command on the card. We don't have any. Activate the... Yeah, because it's the Kampfgruppe card, isn't it? So activate the 48th Panzer unit with the most 48 Panzer units in its 2 hex radius, and all units stacked with those units. Right. Well, like I say, we've only got the 3, so if the Kampfgruppe there, he picks up him. Unfortunately, he's 3 hexes away. So the Kampfgruppe can either go there or there. Because there doesn't pick up anything. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There is a tiebreaker here for that, I remember. Maybe you're thinking, well, why are you bothering looking at granite? It doesn't matter here. I suppose just to maybe put in my head and not so sure if that will be in the play raids or not though. Give me a sec. Yeah, there we go. Jumped a wee bit ahead. It's in section 8. 8.13 on page 14, unit activation. So a core KG card. Locate the unit in the listed core with the most units in the same core within 2 hexes. Activate all those core units, even if only 1, and all units stacked with those units, regardless of core. If units are tied for having the most core units in their 2 hex radius, select the easternmost unit, then the southernmost unit. So they're both easterly, this guy would be southerly, so if we want to be really picky about it, that's a guy who would be doing its thing. But it doesn't matter here because it's just going to activate both these units, so I'll just take that away, we don't need that. So these 2 units are going to activate, which is, that's good for us actually. So that means the guy that wasn't in dangerous surround, is not getting to activate. So yeah, interesting. Okay, so they're going to activate behind Soviet lines. No, we decided. I suppose the main one to look at was they couldn't trace supply. Well, these guys can. Well, I mean, we're okay still, but I suppose with these units moving up here, could start looking at some supply issues. But no, it's fine. We can still trace up here, just past this. Yeah, that'd be something to start thinking about though. Maybe cutting off their supply route, but. Although there's lots of roads round about. Oh, and another big change from Ardennes, to trace the supply head. To trace supply, you get 7 hexes, 7 to find that supply head road, and that's up from 4 in enemy action Ardennes. I'm just trying to see if there's. Here we go, tracing supply. Supply path. A unit or hex traces supply via path up to 7 hexes long to the supply head. Also, if the path crosses an unbridged Dnieper River hexside, allowed length is 2 hexes. So that's quite a big change to. I guess it's maybe just because the terrain's more open. I'm pretty sure it was 4 hexes before in Ardennes, wasn't it? And then the rivers, you could only cross the river to get into it. So quite a big, I can't see there being time. Well, and unless you're getting a unit surrounded, there's probably going to be a way out to trace your supply. Okay, but we don't need to go into that, Grant. But right. Muddled up my player card. So none behind enemy lines. Move to empty or garrison VP hex to which Soviet unit is proximate. No, I don't believe so. Let's move that card a wee bit. Hold on. Now we've found something. So here's an empty VP hex. So maybe that no is not a no and is a yes. This guy can move 1, 2 breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there you go. And as something proximate though, yeah. So this guy can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what one of these guys are going to do. Oh, and just while it caught my mind there, there was a couple of occasions. I know I put a wee comment saying that I'd missed when mechanised units cross these minor rivers, it does cost them an extra movement point to cross. And I think there's 2 or 3 times I've talked and not took that into consideration. Don't believe I've made the mistake in, doing it with it mattering. But just something to keep my. I think I'm sort of thinking, we don't need to bother with these minor rivers. Well, infantry are fine, but mechanised units, it does cost them 1 extra movement point. Okay, so it looks like this is going to happen. So we're doing this in ascending order. So he is selector number 1. So move to empty or garrison VP hex to which Soviet unit is proximate. If city, it's not. If starting in VP hex, it's not. So he is going to move to here. Now the only thing that might stop him from doing that is the movement restrictions. So don't cause Kharkov to become empty. I'm just going to skip by that other name now. It's way up the top of the map anyway. Don't cause Soviet proximity to empty or garrison German city hex or map edge hex. So me moving this guy from here to here does open up a little bit of gap here, but it doesn't cause Soviet proximity to an empty or garrison German city or map edge VP hex. Don't cause units in the same corps to be put in dangerous. I think that might be the case. Don't cause unit in same corps to be put in dangerous round. Oh well, unless that unit is active and not yet acted. Because if I do move this guy way up here, I think this guy's going to be in dangerous round. Right, sorry, little pause there, but I've been instructed to show you who's watching with me. I have my little Gracie with me, watching me play enemy action Kharkov. Eh? You watching, Daddy? With her wee teeth out. Right, okay, let's get back to what people are here to watch. Right, okay, so back to it. Right, where was I? I did pause there for a bit after that. So, yeah, so we wanted to move this guy, and then we paused because this guy would then be in dangerous surround. However, it does say, yeah, this is restrictions I'm looking at, yeah. Don't cause unit in same core to be put in dangerous surround unless that unit is active and not yet acted. Well, that's the case. This guy's going to be able to do something. So we can carry on looking as long as the other two, if not in dangerous surround, don't end move in a non-city hex in dangerous surround unless allowed by action. So would that hex be in danger of surround? No, I don't believe so. Well, yeah, these units are only infantry, so it's not as if this guy could follow 1, 2, 3, 4. He could get to there. Yeah, there's no mechanised units there. They're over this side, and none of them are going to be able to get through. So this guy, I mean, what did we say? It's 1 to cross that river for infantry. It's also 2 to move into the woods, so it's 3 movement for him to go there, and then he wouldn't even be able to go there, would he? Yeah, so this is getting across this river is a bit trickier than I actually thought initially. I thought it was like, but it should be hard to be getting across. And then these guys, yeah, can come down into here, but yeah, not going to get right round. So that's fine, I think. I think we can do that. And that was the last instruction is don't end mech unit move in marsh hex unless only choice. There's only a few marsh hexes, and they're up at they're way up the top left of the map. Sorry, I forgot my directions, but they're the top left of the map. Okay, so we're going to move this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into there, he was selector number 1. Yeah, I think that's good. I think I'm happy with that. And then, so now we move on to the other guy that was active, selector number 2. Now, don't think he can then reach an empty or garrisoned VPX to which a Soviet unit is proximate. No, there's nothing else there. So, moving on to step 3, if in 4th Panzer Army, well, he is, and in Soviet artillery zone, oh, he is, yeah. So he's wanting to bail out of there. So move to a hex outside the zone. Prefer A, not in dangerous surround, B, empty, C, not adjacent to German unit, D, non-clear hex. And then the first time during that move, that unit leaves the position hex or leaves hex adjacent to empty position hex, not adjacent to Soviet unit, place garrison in that position hex. So all this, if you watch my wee preview video at the beginning, I discussed this a little bit. That was a bit of a mouthful, all that stuff, but I think I've got the gist of how it works. My question at the time had been, once they reach outside the artillery barrage zone, can they still move further? For instance, it looks like this guy could easily reach here, but he actually wants to be in a woods hex if he can. That's one of the a non-clear hex. So it doesn't say a woods hex, so a non-clear hex. So he would actually want to go there. I was saying that's just outside the boundary as well. What I was asking was, can it keep moving once it crosses there? And I got a confirmation from Tom Castle, and also John Butterfield came along to clarify that was right. So yeah, so he's gonna do a runner, I think. Now again, movement restrictions. I'm not going to keep going through them, but I mean, I've got to look at them myself, so that's why these things take so long. I suppose I could pause the camera at these times though and then say, right, there's no restrictions, let's bash on. Yeah, the only possible restriction, unlikely, is if not in dangerous surround. Well, actually, he is in dangerous surround, so that's not even an option. Because that guy moved away, this unit is now in dangerous surround, so the restriction that says if not in dangerous surround, don't end move in dangerous surround. So that's not going to apply, so we can ignore that one anyway. Right. So, well, he's going to move 1, 2, yeah, this is, yeah, I suppose that's slightly sort of concerned me a little bit too, is how do we go about moving this unit? We know he's got to get outside the artillery barrage zone, but I mean there's a few different ways he could go. You know, he could go this way, he could go this way, he could go this way. I don't think there's anything that should guide me that way. It does say it should get out the artillery zone, and well, the preferences should probably be enough to guide me, and the first one is not in dangerous surround. So, I mean, although I can reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, although I can reach here, then if this hex was in dangerous surround, then obviously that wouldn't be a choice. The second preference is empty. Well, there's plenty of options there. Third preference is not adjacent to a German unit, so like I couldn't end in any of these 3 hexes because they're adjacent to these. I think this is one that's going to try and guide me though. D is non-clear hex, so his options there could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this isn't empty, but this is a non-clear hex. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a woods hex, but it's adjacent. So I think we are looking up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's 3 for him to move into the woods. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, he can't get into the woods. Yeah, because 2 breaking zone of control. And it's 3 for mech units in the woods, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's not. Okay, so I can't achieve a non-clear hex result. And this is out, because it's adjacent. This is out, this is out. These are all out. That one's not outside. So in actual fact, see, when I ran up here, this could be where I want to be. Can I reach there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can actually reach there. Now that's, well, let's just have a look. Is it in dangerous surround? I don't think so. However, yeah, nothing can get in here. These units could get in there, and okay, these guys could get around to here, but there's always going to be an escape hex here. So yeah, that's fine. It is empty. It's not adjacent to a German unit. Unfortunately, it is a clear hex, but well, there's no option to find a non-clear hex. No. Yeah. Okay, and by doing that, well, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So he's going to move 1, 2, breaking zone of control, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, when he moves, the first time, when he moves from here to here, he has, it says the first time during the move that unit leaves position hex, well, I wasn't leaving a position hex, or leaves a hex adjacent to an empty position hex, which I was doing. Yeah, I was leaving a hex that was adjacent to an empty position hex that wasn't adjacent to a Soviet unit. Like I said, there's a bit of mouthful. It took me a wee while to get that one sort of under under control. So as soon as I move from here to here, a garrison gets placed here. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to move up there. That's going to come away. A garrison's going to be placed here, just to cause me a bit of bother to get through. Yeah, I think that's good. I'm happy with that. Till I watch it back and then realise that what are you talking about, Grant? Honestly, when I seen that bit last night about me talking about Proxima, I had to cut it. You would have thought I didn't know what I was doing. So hopefully it's not cropped up anywhere else, because it's just a nonsense I'm talking. Okay, so that was us activated. We only got to activate the 2 units, but tell you what, that wasn't too bad moves either, was it? It's quite clever. I mean, he covered this hex, moved the guys out of the artillery barrage zone, and pushed back towards Kharkov, where we've got these units moving. So yeah, looks pretty decent for them. Right, I think I'm going to have to get some charge again. I'm going to have to, because it looks like I'm going to be wanting to get right into this and do a bit of it. So I think I'm going to have to get the plug closer by where I can charge the phone in while I'm recording. That would make more sense, I think. So that's the end of that German impulse. Right, I think I can put this with the other part that I've done. I don't think this is, or maybe it is a separate. No, I think the other part was only 30 odd minutes. This is 30 odd minutes, so should be able to just join this on, and this should be the end of part 4, I want to say, maybe. Okay, I'll be back soon though, guys. Really enjoying it, and I know it's slow, but if I'm sure some of you is maybe looking for me to do a playthrough would be expecting it that way, and nothing's really going to change. Apologies to anybody out there. I did say this before on one of my previous recordings, that there was a couple of comments that people couldn't understand me. There's not a lot I can do about that. I'm trying to speak a little clearer, I suppose, but well, it is what it is. It's not really anything I can do about that. Like I say, I don't know if you can get any translation, like subtitles up or something like that, but no, I'm just need to bear with me, or I don't know, if you can't handle it, then I suppose you can't watch it. So fair enough. Right, I'll be back with the next Soviet Impulse sometime soon. Okay, cheers.